Try recalling the last time you were trying to convince someone of something or making them see your point of view. Even if something was clear as day to you, the other person could not see it. Seems frustrating, doesn't it? At times like this, it may feel we may as well be banging our heads against a wall. We cannot get through to the other person. Well, let me tell you, you were right. That's the easy part. You already knew that. But there is more. And you may not like this part. The other person was right too. Now, you may say, but I have data, facts, science on my side. And I agree. But this is not about empirical or absolute truth, if we can ever know what that is. But even so, what I mean is, you think you were right, and so does the other person. And in that context, both sides are right. Let's break it down. When we express an opinion or point of view or a fact, we go within and look at our entire repository of knowledge and experiences and come up with a response. That is what we ever know. Whether you have this information from books, your parents, Google, other experts, or your own experiences. This is your collective data. The same goes for the other person. They are also accessing their own inventory. So, from where they are responding, they are accurate. Even the people who believe in conspiracy theories and flat earth are right based on their accumulated data. That's why arguing with someone or trying to convince others is futile. Let's say someone who believes in the flat earth theory came up to you and presented you with data that, according to them, is facts. So now, would you change your mind about the shape of the earth? No, you may say, I have science on my side. I know what is right. But again, this is something that you're believing in. In most likelihood, neither you nor the other person have gone into outer space and looked at the earth. But you may say, I have pictures that the astronauts have shared. But that is still data that you're believing in. The other person has their own set of data that, according to them, is true. So, long story short, we all believe in our data as right. And so, if these data sets do not overlap, there is conflict. When we share similar data sets with others, then we get along with those people. Does that mean people can think and behave in ways that they feel are right, even if they are detrimental to others? Well, there are laws and rules of conduct laid down, and most of the time people operate within those bounds so that society can function smoothly. So, this is not about condoning negative acts, even if someone feels it is right for them. But beyond this, in everyday life, labeling and stereotyping others because they think differently than us is wasted effort and leads to disconnection and prejudice. Obviously, others think differently because they've had different experiences. If they had our experiences or experiences similar to us, then they would think and behave in similar ways to us. The reverse is true for us as well. So then, how do we ever reach agreement if everyone is different? Number one, our starting position has to be to understand that the other person's opinion is a logical extension of their beliefs and experiences. So, everyone is right based on their cumulative data. This may or may not align with how we think and believe. Nevertheless, it is true. If we can understand just this, we can get along better with each other instead of arguing over who is right and who is wrong. Number two, we are open and willing to hear the other side and change our perspective. What it means is we share, and then it is up to the individual how receptive they are to that information and if they are flexible enough to change or question their own beliefs. So we don't force others, it's their prerogative, but we can choose our own response. Number three, this way it can lead to a constructive dialogue because now both sides are not just rejecting each other, instead, they can share and accept knowledge from the other, and that way both sides can benefit and grow. If we limit ourselves to only what we know, what our experiences are, it would really be a myopic view. But instead, when we allow experiences from others, when we share, then both sides can be enriched. And so we can reach agreements that are win-win for both. And yes, it also applies to the scenarios when we are giving advice to our loved ones. Statements like, "How could you do that? I never thought you would do that," invalidates the other person. So, first we have to see the other person's perspective. What we do is we superimpose our beliefs onto the other person, and from that point of view, what the other person did feels impossible to us. But that's where the fault is. The other person does not think and feel like us. So we have to be willing to hear our loved ones so that we can establish common ground with each other. And only after that we can make progress, or otherwise it will lead to screaming matches where both parties are trying to invalidate the other and prove that only they are right. Unless we have had an experience, we cannot understand the nuances and finer point of the other person. For example, someone who has never tasted sugar will not be able to get your viewpoint no matter how hard you try to explain it. Or if you go back in time and try to explain to someone what a smartphone is, they might look at you like you're crazy. No one is right or wrong. It's just that one person had the experience and the other did not. So, even if we didn't have each other's experiences, the best we can do is to honor and allow different perspectives, knowing that they are based on experiences unique to each one of us and not label them as right or wrong. From this space, we can then try to understand each other. The real indicator of growth is not to persuade, cajole or bicker with others so that they agree that we are right, but instead have an open mind where we can accept others and expand our awareness. Anyone can cling fiercely to their own perspective and call it right. But only a conscious person is willing to look at their own beliefs and question them. Choose what works for you. Thanks for watching.